Hello and welcome to this episode specifically aimed at you, our members of the FNB Umbrella Fund. Now, what we are going to be unpacking today is something that is exceptionally topical, and that is the two-pot system that is coming into play on the 1st of September 2024. And this is a result of legislative changes throughout the years, and it is some good news, but also some interesting news and lots of nuances. And to unpack it today, I've brought two experts in. I've brought in Taryn from FNB Group Tax or First Rand Group Tax, and I've also brought in Minaka that's going to talk specifically to you as our Umbrella Fund members. But I think let's get cracking on it immediately. Taryn, thank you for joining us. What is the two-pot system?
So essentially what government is looking to do is they're looking to ensure that people are able to retire with funds. So in one part they are preserving a number of funds, but also given the state of South Africans and the difficulty that South Africans are experiencing, they are also going to allow limited access to certain portions of your retirement fund. And that is now where we get the two pots. One is a savings pot, which is partly accessible, and the other is the retirement pot, which will have to be preserved for retirement purposes only.
Let's take a step back. So traditionally what would happen is, in order for people to get access to funds, if they don't have emergency savings, and remember the guideline here is to have 1 to 3 months worth of income available as an emergency fund, what they would do is they'd actually resign and get hold of that. So it's trying to give people a little bit of a balance, getting access to some of their retirement funds while preserving the majority
Absolutely.
of it. So let's talk a little bit, because I think the big part for us is the 31st of August, because they would have been contributing to the Umbrella Fund. What happens to that money from the 31st of August going over into the 1st of September?
From the 31st of August, your value in terms of what your current retirement value is will be determined by the fund. The fund will then do an allocation of 10% up to a maximum of 30,000 Rand, and that will be sort of your starting point in your savings pot. Then the rest of the money that is left behind, so now the 90% of what you had on the 31st of August, is now going to be kept and will apply the same rules that had been applicable before. So if your rules that were applicable was 1/3 could be taken as a lump sum and 2/3 had to be annuitized, those rules will continue in respect of that balance that is left in what's known as the vested pot. So that is protecting your historic rights in terms of what you have already saved up until the point of 1 September 2024.
So Terry, let's put this in some numbers. Let's assume an Umbrella Fund member has 250,000 Rand in their pension fund come the 31st of August. The 1st of September, 225,000 Rand is going into their vested pot. The same rules apply to that.
Correct.
Okay. Then 25,000 Rand is going into their savings pot. They can access that once a year.
Correct. Once a tax year.
And that is taxable, is that not?
Correct. So any withdrawals from that savings pot will be taxable.
Okay. So that's dealing with what happens with the funds that's in your retirement year. But now, of course, there's a contribution. Now, assume someone is contributing 1,200 Rand a month to their pension fund. From the 1st of September, 400 Rand, 1/3, is going into their savings pot, and 2/3, 800 Rand, is going into their retirement pot.
Correct.
Which they can't access
No.
until retirement.
That's absolutely correct. So the retirement pot is essentially the portion where government is trying to ensure that people are able to save for retirement and that there is something that's going to be available when they do retire for them to live on.
So lots of nuances, and of course this is where I'm going to bring you into the conversation, Minaka. Lots of nuances, lots of things that our members need to think about. What do they need to do?
Short answer is nothing. So we as FNB Employee Benefits are ensuring smooth implementation of the regulation by having seamless processes for our clients and our members. So they don't have to do anything right now. And in the process of us ensuring that we are implementing the regulation appropriately, should they be impacted or there be any change in how we do things with them right now, communication will be sent out to all members directly. So to all our members, it's quite important to be on the lookout on text or via phone for any communication that we send out so that they don't miss out on anything. But in terms of preparation, no, nothing is expected of them to prepare.
So Minaka, the next question I'm going to ask, and I'm pretty sure the viewers out there have got this question, is my investment going to be impacted? Is this going to impact my retirement?
That's a very good question and a much debated one. So in essence, as employee benefits, We have a philosophy of preservation, right? It's centered around preservation. So what that means is that our investment strategies and processes are aimed at encouraging our members to preserve their retirement savings so that upon retirement, they have the best returns on that savings. So if we had to now create a liquidity pot to align with the two-pot system, that would then reduce the long-term expected investment returns for our members. And that's not an approach that we would like to take. So we're not adopting that. We're not going to have a special investment pot to speak to that savings pot you've alluded to earlier. And therefore, there will not be any investment impact to our members.
Okay, so let me just summarize. The members don't need to do anything. They just continue contributing as they are. FNB Umbrella Fund's going to take care of everything in the background. We also don't want you as members to withdraw from this because that will impact your retirement in the long run as well.
So for members, right now, if you are withdrawing, say, 20,000 Rand or 10,000 Rand, that might seem little right now. But if you take that 10,000 Rand or 20,000 Rand grossed up with returns up until the point that you're going to retire, then it makes a significant difference, at the time that you retire. May this be a last point of resort where you absolutely have no other way to look for emergency funds that you withdraw, because it can adversely impact your future retirement savings when you do retire.
Absolutely, and I do want to stop a little bit on this point on when to withdraw. Now, obviously, again, our guideline is you need to build up those emergency savings in an account that's accessible very easily. But, coming to withdraw, and you and I have had many debates about this, you're about to lose your house, you're seriously in debt, that's potentially an option. Buying a new handbag or an outfit, that's not an option for withdrawal. And don't start counting on this money, this annual withdrawal that you can take from your pension fund as part of your budget. Rather work within the income that you get normally. Now, there's lots of nuances to the Monaco, so if our members do want more information, where do they go?
Yes, they may give us a call. We do have a FNB Employee Benefit Call Center on 087 312 1947. Or they may email us at employeebenefits@fnb.co.za.
There you go. Those are some of the things that you need to consider with regards to the two-pot retirement system coming in September 2024. Remember to preserve those retirement savings as much as possible and reach out to the FNB Umbrella Fund if you have any questions.